What's up, Israel? It's your girl, Shamar. Come on in the van, guys. Come on in the van. Check it out. I got something real interesting for y'all this week that's been nagging at me, right? I'm a firm believer in the Creator placing you where you need to be sometimes. You know what I mean? And me being in Arizona is a very, very long story, guys. Let's get out of this dead loop. It's a very long story, right? It's sit around the fire and let's talk about how we got here kind of combo, right? It's way too long for this episode. Trust and believe me. But if I tell you that story, you will most emphatically say, yo, mother brought you here. I know it without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So one day we around the fire. I'm chilling with my nation. We're going to all tell our story. We're going to sit around the fire. We're going to burn one. And we're going to talk about how thankful we are that we heard mother. All right, guys? Because this subject right here has been nagging at me, right, guys? It's not necessarily a Torah-specific subject. It's a we the people, this the place kind of subject, right? It's further validation. Okay, guys? So, I got to open the window up in Gavin's area because I don't want the air conditioning sound to drown me out like it did last week. I felt like y'all couldn't really hear me. So we're going to make the sacrifice and sit up here in Gavin's space so that you guys can hear me. This is what I do for mama. I don't care. All right, guys. So listen. This week's picture, guys. Oh, before we get started, where am I, right, y'all? Where am I at? I haven't told y'all that. Or, in previous episodes, I may have dropped some hints to where I'm at. I'm in Zion. I'm in Arizona. Specifically, Tucson, Arizona, right? It's pure desert, guys. It's in the Sonora Desert, right? So, like I said, it's a long story how I got here, but I'm here. Mama let me here. That's all I know. In the picture, guys, in the background, what is that? It's a snowbird, guys. What the hell is a snowbird? Well, let me show y'all what a snowbird is. Let's go on over here to this picture. Let's look it up. Let me show you guys what a snowbird is. All right. A snowbird is a northerner who moves to warmer southern states in the winter. At the peak of the tourist season, the hotels host an additional 300 snowbirds and backpackers, right? All right, it's a widespread and variable junco with gray or brown upper parts and a white belly. So at the top, you're going to see the informal definition of what a snowbird is. And on the bottom, you're going to see it referring to a bird. So on the first page here, what do I have? I have the literal bird, right? And they have that as the secondary definition. Funny guys, right? But I bet you this bird was doing it before these folks right here who are just living their best life. You sure? Look at this. A snowbird is a person who migrates from the colder. It would probably finish saying the colder states during the winter to the warmer states in the winter, right? This is a snowbird, right? Guys, I do this. I take the winter off and go sit down somewhere. And we don't even have harsh winters here. But it's a page that I got out of their book. Not specifically these folks here. Not the color of these folks. I'm not pinpointing anybody. But what I'm saying is the people that are capable of doing this. Because there's folks that look like us too. Right, guys? That are capable of doing this. Taking winters off. Going someplace where it's warm. Right? Yeah, look at them cruising. Okay. So I thought this was a new term until our episode. Well, not our episode. If you look in the community page, you'll see that I dropped a few photos. In those photos, it talks about a city we're going to talk about today. All right, guys, let's get to it. All right, check this out. It's a city named Susa, right? Also goes by Shushan, right? Check this out. The Greek Susa, ancient capital of Elam, a province in Mesopotamia, a seat of wealth and power. At the Persian conquest of Babylon, the events of Esther's history occurred here. It's the spot of Daniel's visions. Nehemiah is commissioned there. So they're going to show you the various verses that are associated with this area specifically, right? And it's going back to Genesis 10 and 22. Elam, right here, right? Ancient capital of Elam, right there it says. So in the verse in Genesis, it's going to say the children of Shem. Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, Aram. Okay, and it came to pass in the days of the king of Shir, the king of Elia. I'm going to tear up some of these names, God. But Chedorlaomer, king of Elam. All right, and the title kings of nations. It was in 14, the children of Shem again, listed again. So Nehemiah 1, the words of Nehemiah, the son in the 20th year, as I was in Shushan. Okay, so Nehemiah was in Shushan. Isaiah 21, grievous vision is declared unto me. The treacherous dealer dealeth treacherously, and the spoiler spoileth. Go up, O Elam, besiege, O Media. All the sightings thereof have I made to cease. All right. And in, I don't know what I pressed there. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go back. All right. And in Jeremiah 49, the word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah, the prophet, against Elam, in the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. All right. And this is why I got here, because of Daniel 8 specifically. And I saw in a vision of it, I saw that I was in Shushan, okay, in the province of Elam. Oh, let me go back to it. No. Let me go back to it. In the province of Elam, I was standing by the river of Uila. Guys, remember that river name, because that's going to be important later on. All right, remember, Daniel is in Shushan, and Daniel is near the river Uila, right? All right, let's keep going. It's a four-letter word. All right, the river of Uila. So we know that Shushan has to be near a river. Okay, guys. It was something about this name. Okay. Concise Bible Dictionary. It's an ancient city in the east. We're right here, guys. The capital of Elam, and which is a son of Shem, right, guys? And which afterward became the metropolis of Persia. That's how they're linking it to Esther, okay? It is mentioned chronologically, okay? It is first mentioned chronologically in Daniel. Objections have been raised as to Daniel being at Shushan in the reign of Belshazzar. But the prophecy does not say definitely that he was there. It reads, I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan. Okay? All right. Hold on to that. Let's go back to the folder. All right. Let's show y'all why we're here and what has it got to do with the snowbirds, right? All right. So, Shushan once again, right, guys? I don't know about y'all, but I've been having pretty bad service around this joint. But let's go. Esther 1 and 5. Shushan. Shushan is the same as Susa, the winter capital of the Persian Empire, about 150 miles north of the Persian Gulf. It has been excavated and well identified archaeologically. Okay, guys, now we know that they try to put the focus over there. Where am I talking about? In the Middle East, of course. It's in their best interest to do that, because then you don't realize you're on your land. All right, guys? Once I start pointing over there, it's like spinning a top. And I start telling you, yeah, I spin you around and tell you, you were over there. You know what I'm saying? Then you start, being confused as to what is your inheritance. But let there be no confusion about it. Mother is waking us up to what our inheritance is. Because an inheritance is a feminine root word. So we know the land is linked to the women of Israel. The women are waking up to what was theirs. Check this out, guys. All right, so Shushan. Shushan is the same as Susa, sounding like Susan, sounding like Susanna, right? There's a book it's an apocryphal book called Susanna, and it talks about a real strange case where some men plotted against a lady who was bathing and minding her business. You guys got to check that story out one day. But let's keep going. And what do you know? That Shushan is so important that it makes it to the Institute of Creation and Research. All right? It made it there. What do you know? Well, we're on the trail too. It's important to us too to figure this out. All right. Now, let me go back and show you something real quick because I went on a tangent, but I want y'all to pay attention to this right here. It being the winter capital, okay, of the Persian Empire. Okay. The Persians, when it got cold in the north, they headed south. Watch this. And they had, let me see if that's in that first article, because I believe I pulled that in to show you guys that they had a huge palace. And here we go. Daniel speaks, I got to do this before I take y'all to the Casa Grande ruins. Daniel speaks of the palace or fortress as being in, oh, did I skip something? Yeah, we can go there. The palace or the fortress as being in the province of Elam. And he was by the river of Uila, right? This agrees with the modern Susa. No, it doesn't. On the river Shapur. No, it doesn't. In Persia, where there are extensive ruins. But I'm going to show y'all where it does agree with, all right? All right, but they're going to tell the truth right here, right? The place is frequently mentioned in the book of Esther and is once called Susa, this being the Greek form of the name. Remember, Greek sounds like creek, right? We know what time it is. In Esther 11:3 of its apocryphal editions, the ruins extend to a circumference of about 7 miles. All right. But this is some of the stuff that they have done to what they believe to be the ruins, right? The great feast that was held by Ahasuerus with his noble and princes for 7 days was not apparently held in the halls inside the palace. But remember, there's a palace there, guys. But in the open air with the court of the garden of the king's palace, surrounded by white and green and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen, purple to silver rings, and pillars of marble. All right, guys. So this is what Susa's looking like, okay? They are also surrounded by fields of lilies, okay? It said that they are surrounded by fields of lilies, but pay attention to that. The fact that there's a fortress, or what's described as a palace, and a river near it. All right, it's surrounded by lilies. What do you know? There's a certain thing out here called a desert lily. Mojave and Sonora deserts of southeast California, western Arizona, and northwestern Mexico. Its habitat is a sandy desert flat, which slopes 2,500 feet. The flowers are large, cream-colored, funnel-shaped flowers. They bloom through May. Flowers have 6 petal-like segments, right? Which look like a Star of David, doesn't it? Right. a lily looks like the Star of David if one was to draw the 6 petal points. All right, each with silver green bands on the back. Clusters of these fragrant flowers may be as much as a foot in length. They look much like an Easter lily. Sounds like Esther, right? This plant can be easily seen growing along desert paths roads in the spring. The desert lily has a deep bulb that sends its stem up in early spring. All right. So these specific flowers do bloom out here, and they are referred to as desert lilies. So it's not far-fetched to believe that their winter home in Shushan could have been here. Check this out, guys. Remember that fortress that they were talking about? There's a place, they're going to call the area Coolidge now, but it's extremely close to Tucson. Okay, guys? So I personally feel like this is one and the same place. Shushan sounds like Tucson, guys. And what do you know? There's a river nearby, a 4-letter river nearby this specific area that they dammed up. Check it out. This was their winter home, right? Check it out. The snowbirds. So when you see these people talking about we're snowbirds now, this tradition goes back way further than we knew. Okay? They've been paying a homage to the people that have given them the land that allow them to do this on your land. All right? They get to snowbird while you bust your ass in the city. All right, guys? Making that dollar just to pay the rent that allows them to snowbird. It's a perpetual slavery cycle, guys. Check it out. Casa Grande Ruins, a national monument, explore an ancient desert farming community that includes the preserved Great House. The main structure at Casa Grande dates back to 1350, but evidence suggests a community thrived here for 1,000 years before that. The mystery remains why residents abandoned the site around here. Indigenous people created an intricate system of irrigation, all right, irrigation canals along the Gila River. You see that, guys? The Gila River was here. Don't that kind of sound like the Uila River? The Gila River? Now you see where Shamar going with this, guys? You see the games they play right in your face? Yeah, they enjoy playing phonetic games with you. All right, guys? So Shushan is sounding like Tucson, and Gila is sounding like Uila. Let's keep going. Watch where I'm going with this. All right, the Gila River. Casa Grande was one of many villages along the river, a trade route for multiple tribal communities. What's your mom been saying? That the Israelites had a trade route, right? And what was the Israelite community considered? A tribal community made up of family, right? Let's keep going. The fascinating structure became the nation's first archaeological reserve in 1892 and a national monument in 1918. So in 1892, it became an archaeological reserve, the nation's first. Okay, so when you think of archaeological reserves, you can now know that Casa Grande is the nation's first. Yeah. tour the ruins. Visitors encounter much more at Casa Grande than the Big House. Odam, Hopi, and Zuni communities trace their ancestors to the village here. I bet they do. Learn how these ancestral Sonoran desert people became less nomadic when they built their villages near reliable water sources. Walk through the remnants of an extensive compound and see the canal irrigation systems that helped sustain indigenous people here for centuries. So for centuries, they had water. They were tapping into the Ogallala aquifer somehow, some way, but they were not depleting it. See, this is what we were supposed to be entrusted with. This is how we were supposed to treat the land, not over-resource it. Guided tours present the backstory of the agricultural community, or visitors can watch a video in the visitor center. All right, so they got a video somewhere. All right, this is the Arizona Grand Canyon, at visitarizona.com website. All right, learn the backstory. The name Casa Grande was given by European explorers led by missionary Francisco Kino in 1694. It was given, that's the name they gave it, okay? So what was it called before? The Palace, probably, in Susa. The excellent on-site visitor center is packed with exhibits that consider the mystery of Casa Grande. Learned about the extensive trade network. Okay, so we're going to have to go there, guys. That's centered around Casa Grande. And ponder why the residents of this massive village broke into smaller groups and scattered throughout the desert southwest. See Mata Ortiz pottery and Tohono O'odham baskets from the area, as well as statewide information on Arizona's archaeological sites. On the nearby Gila, some people will say Gila, it's really pronounced Gila, okay guys? Gila River Indian Community, the Huhugam Heritage Center, has a massive repository of American Indian artifacts and invites visitors to attend events that preserve the customs of Arizona's tribal communities. See, so they're going to say it's located. Casa Grande's National Monument is not in the city of Casa Grande. Head to neighboring Coolidge to see this amazing adobe structure. All right, guys. So we're going to have to go pay Casa Grande a visit. It's only about 40-50 minutes from actual city of Tucson, guys. It's not far at all. So now you see why we got our eye on the on the town of Shushan as being this place here. All right, let's talk about the Gila River, right? The Gila River, right, guys? Sounds like the Uila River that Daniel was standing on when he was visualizing the city of Shushan and the palace therein. Stretching over 600 miles across 2 states, the Gila River is an iconic natural feature of the American Southwest. From its origin in the pine forests of the Black Range of West New Mexico to its confluence with the Colorado River in southwestern Arizona. Guys, go to the community page and look at my latest post concerning the Colorado River, like that word, the etymology of Colorado. It is connecting to the color red, the ruddy. Okay, go look at it specifically though, because it's connecting even to a skin complexion. It says so. Y'all need to dig more on that word Colorado. All right, and it's already, the work has already been done. It's on the community page, guys. Okay, I know I post a lot of stuff on there, and maybe you ain't got time, but check that one out for me, please. Thank you, guys. Much love. All right, so Colorado River, right here, guys, in southwestern Arizona. The river is fed by 6 major tributaries. All right, winding through iconic ecosystems including the arid Sonora Desert. Its water supports forests of willows and massive cottonwoods, vital habitat for more than 300 species of migratory and breeding birds, including many found nowhere else in the United States, such as the common black hawk, we're right here, and northern beardless tarantula. And high elevation portions of the watershed host the last remaining strongholds of many native fish, such as the endangered Gila trout. However, what was once the lifeblood of the Sonora Desert has been drained and diverted to support the ever growing metropolis of Phoenix and Tucson, Shushan, okay, west of Phoenix, okay. The river is usually a dry bed, and where water still flows, the fragile ecosystem is assaulted by invasive species, drought, grazing, and what do I be talking about, guys? Mining, which are only exacerbated by the growing effects of climate change, right? Which is caused by this, all right? As a result, 21 of Arizona's original 36 native fish species are either extinct or federally listed as threatened or endangered. And it's going to discuss water depletion. The Gila River faces severe. Sorry, I sound like a non-native when I say Gila, but most people will. It's really Gila, guys. They pronounce a couple of things different here, like Cholla. You'll see Cholla, and you'll want to say Cholla. Cholla. It's Choya. Okay, guys. So there's a different way of pronouncing things, and where you'll see Gila is really Gila. All right. The Gila River faces severe water depletion, exacerbated by prolonged drought conditions and increased agricultural demands in the region. The diminishing flow of the Gila River poses a direct threat to local ecosystems and communities that rely on its water for sustenance and irrigation. Habitat degradation. Habitat degradation along the Gila River is evident through the erosion of riparian vegetation due to human activities such as urban development, agricultural expansion, and cattle ranching. Right? They just don't know what to do with the land because it wasn't theirs to begin with. So as a result, we got this: climate change. Climate change has intensified the frequency and severity of drought along the Gila River, diminishing water availability for both ecosystems and human consumption. Each spring, the melting snow of nearby mountains nourish the Gila and its tributaries. However, rising temperatures disrupt the natural system. Additionally, rising temperatures exacerbate the risk of wildfires in the surrounding area, negatively impacting the river's watershed and contributing to soil erosion, further compromising the health of the Gila River ecosystems. What did I tell y'all? They will ride this thing until the wheels fall off if mother didn't come back. All right? So there's some conservation agencies right here that think it's their job to get this shit back in order. But no, it is our job to get this back in order. Everybody on this planet, or should I say this plane? Sorry, guys. It got me talking in their lingo, but y'all know I know it's a plane. Everybody on this plane, man, has a responsibility to this, man. We know right from wrong. All right? No animal. I got a dog that won't even poop in his own cage, guys. We would. We definitely would. This is why mothers got to step back in. Now, here's the definition to, and this article is just saying that it's disappearing. Hold on, let's get to that river that Daniel is standing in, right, guys, real quick. Where is it at? Okay, they're saying right here that the definition of Uila is pure water, a river in the province of Elam, where the palace, right, guys, what we've been talking about, the palace of Shushan, stood, on whose banks Daniel saw the vision of the ram and the he-goat, right? All right, river flowing near the city to Shushan, where Daniel saw himself in a vision. It is judged to be the Elias of the Greeks and Romans, identified by some with the Kirkha, an affluent of Tigris, and this agrees with the upper Ulysses. Others have traced it to the Quran, another affluent of the Tigris, and this agrees with the lower Ulysses. Ulysses? Listen, I'm going to give up on that, but y'all see this damn word right here. But at one part, a branch of the former once ran into the latter. Okay. The Ulehi, meaning of Persian derivation, the Uile, a river of Persia, they're saying, right? Okay. My leader's mighties. Okay, Jackson Dictionary of Scripture gives it a proper name right here. My leader. All right, my leader's mighties. Okay. But I came for this last one right here. Potts, Bible, proper name. Muddy water. That, for some reason, guys, how we opened and we said it was pure water, right? And how we end, because this is the last thing we're going to focus on right here, guys. See how it opened as pure water? And how we end with it being defined as muddy waters. A river of Persia, senseless. Check this last verse out. And then I'm going to be out of here and let y'all ponder on some of this for a little while. Check this out, guys. Ezekiel 34, 18 through 19. Is it not enough for you to feed on the good pasture? Must you also trample the rest of your pasture with your feet? Is it not enough for you to drink clear water? Must you also muddy the rest with your feet? Must my flock feed on what you have trampled and drink what you have muddied with your feet? No. This flock right here of precious sons and daughters is not going to feed on what you've trampled. And it's not going to drink on what you muddied. Mother's going to see to that. We will have a good pasture, guys. Yeah, we will. And we will have clear water to drink. Soon. Much love to you guys from the front line. Thanks for tuning in.